Welcome to Wonderslate. Subscribe to our Telegram channel given in the description to updates and study materials. Topic for today's quiz is Indian Politics Set 2. Question number 1. The office of the President can fall vacant due to Option A. Resignation. Option B. Death. Option C. Removal. Option D. All of the above. The correct answer is Option D. All of the above. The newly elected president will remain in office for a full term of 5 years from the date he assumes charge. When a vacancy occurs in the office of the president due to his resignation, removal, death or other reasons, the vice president acts as the president until a new president is elected. Question number 2. The president can dismiss a member of the Council of Ministers. Option A. On his own. Option B. On the recommendation of the Prime Ministers. Option C. Only under emergency conditions. Option D. With the consent of the Speaker. The correct answer is Option B. On the recommendation of the Prime Ministers, the President of India can dismiss the Council of Ministers on the recommendation of the Governor of a state. Question number 3. The President demand for further reforms, attended with a dislocation caused by the non-cooperation movement, led the British government to appoint a statutory commission in 1927. This commission was headed by Option A. Sir John Simon. Option B. Lord Chelmsford. Option C. Lord Minto. Option D. E.S. Montagu. The correct answer is Option A. Sir John Simon. The Indian Statutory Commission, commonly referred to as the Simon Commission, was a group of 7 British members of Parliament under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon. The commission arrived in British India in 1928 to study constitutional reform in Britain's most important colony. Question number 4. The office of the Prime Minister of India. Option A. Has a constitutional basis. Option B. Has a statutory basis. Option C. Has conventional basis. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is Option A. Has a constitutional basis. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the executive branch of the Government of India. The Prime Minister is also the chief advisor to the President of India and head of the Council of Ministers. They can be a member of any of the 2 houses of Parliament, the Lok Sabha or the Rajya Sabha, but has to be a member of the political party, having a majority in the Lok Sabha. Question number 5. The powers to legislate with respect to any matter not enumerated in any of the 3 lists are mentioned as residuary powers. Which of the following is empowered to determine finally as to whether or not a particular matter falls in this category? Option A. Lok Sabha. Option B. Judiciary. Option C. Rajya Sabha. Option D. Parliament. The correct answer is Option B. Judiciary. The judiciary is the system of courts that interprets and applies the law in the name of the state. The judiciary can also be thought of as the mechanism for the resolution of disputes. Question number 6. The members of the Parliamentary Committee. Option A. Are appointed by the President in consultation with the Prime Minister. Option B. Are appointed by the President on the recommendation of the Speaker. Option C. Are taken from various groups and parties in Parliament in proportion to their respective strength. Option D. Both B and C. The correct answer is Option C. are taken from various groups and parties in Parliament in proportion to their respective strength. The Parliament has to perform complex and varied kind of functions. A committee can be called a parliamentary committee if it is appointed or elected by the House or nominated by the Speaker or the Chairman. It has a secretariat provided by the Lok Sabha/Rajya Sabha Secretariat. Question number 7. The power to prorogue the Lok Sabha rests with Option A. The Speaker. Option B. The President. Option C. The Prime Minister. Option D. The Minister for Parliamentary Affairs. The correct answer is Option B. The President. The President of India prorogues the Houses or either House. This is undertaken after the Houses has been adjourned sine die by the respective presiding officers of the House. Question number 8. The Parliament enjoys legislative power over subjects in Option A. The Union list only. Option B. The concurrent list only. Option C. Both Union and concurrent list. Option D. All the three lists, viz. Union list, State list and the concurrent list. The correct answer is Option C. Both Union and concurrent list. All three lists during an emergency but only concurrent and Union lists when there is no emergency. Question number 9. The minimum number of members that must be present to hold the meeting of the Lok Sabha is Option A. 1/4 of the total membership. Option B. 1/10 of the total membership of the Houses. Option C. 50% strength of the Lok Sabha. Option D. At least 100 members. The correct answer is Option B. 1/10 of the total membership of the Houses. To hold a meeting in Lok Sabha, a minimum 1/10 of the total members of the House must be present. This minimum limit is called quorum. Question number 10. Preamble enshrines the ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity, ideals inspired by the Option A. Russian Revolution. Option B. Irish Revolution. Option C. French Revolution. Option D. U.S. Constitution. The correct answer is Option C. French Revolution. The ideals of liberty, equality and fraternity enshrined in the preamble of the Constitution of India were adopted under inspiration from A. The French Revolution. Question number 11. The Parliament can restrict or abrogate by law fundamental rights with respect to Option A. The members of the armed forces. Option B. The forces charged with the maintenance of public order. Option C. The persons employed in any bureau or other organization established by the state for purpose of intelligence. Option D. All of the above. The correct answer is Option D. All of the above. Article 33 empowers the Parliament to restrict or abrogate the application of the fundamental rights in relation to the armed forces, paramilitary forces, police etc. but it does not mean that the article itself would abrogate any rights. The operation of this article depends upon the parliamentary legislation, though these legislations don't need to refer this article. Such legislation by Parliament of India may restrict the operation of any fundamental rights such as equality, freedom of expression, freedom of association, personal liberty etc. One such article is Police Forces, Restriction of Rights, Act, 1966. This act was even challenged in Supreme Court but was held valid. Some acts such as Army Act 1950, Navy Act 1950, Air Forces Act 1950 were the major acts enacted by Parliament of India as per this Article 33 of Constitution of India. Question number 12. The name of a candidate for the office of President of India may be proposed by Option A. Any 5 citizens of India. Option B. Any 5 members of the Parliament. Option C. 50 members of Electoral College and supported by another 50 members. Option D. 10 members of the Electoral College. The correct answer is option C. 50 members of Electoral College and supported by another 50 members. A particular candidate would require 50 MPs or MLAs to propose his name, while another 50 MPs or MLAs would be needed to sign in support of the earlier 50 who proposed the name of the candidate. The required number of proposers and those who seconded was much less, 10 plus 10, but this was increased in 1997 to discourage the non-serious candidates. Question number 13. The phrase bicameral legislature means: Option A. A single assembly. Option B. An elected legislature. Option C. A legislature consisting of a lower and an upper chamber. Option D. Parliamentary system of government. The correct answer is option C. A legislature consisting of a lower and an upper chamber. Bicameral legislature is a legislative system having 2 tiers of assemblies, chambers or houses. In India, central legislature, i.e. Parliament, is bicameral. However, states, except for a few, are generally unicameral. The 2 houses in state legislature are called Legislative Assembly and Legislative Council. Question number 14. The position of the President, which was undermined by the 42nd Amendment, was subsequently somewhat retrieved by the Option A. 44th Amendment. Option B. 45th Amendment. Option C. 26th Amendment. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option A. 44th Amendment. The 44th Amendment of the Indian Constitution was significant as it removed partially the distortions that were introduced into the Constitution by 42nd Amendment. It wanted to provide that certain changes in the Constitution which would have the effect of impairing its secular or democratic character, abridging or taking away fundamental rights, prejudicing or impeding free and fair elections on the basis of adult suffrage, and compromising the independence of judiciary. Question number 15. The oath of office is administered to the members of State Council of Ministers by Option A. The Governor. Option B. The Chief Minister. Option C. Chief Justice of the State High Court. Option D. Speaker of Legislative Assembly. The correct answer is option A. The Governor. Oath to the Council of Ministers is administered by the President of India. For the State Council of Ministers, the oath is administered by the Governor of that particular state. Question number 16. The power of Supreme Court of India to decide the dispute between the centre and states falls under its Option A. Advisory jurisdiction. Option B. Appellate jurisdiction. Option C. Original jurisdiction. Option D. Constitutional jurisdiction. The correct answer is option C. Original jurisdiction. The original jurisdiction of a court is the power to hear a case for the first time, as opposed to appellate jurisdiction, when a higher court has the power to review a lower court's decision. Original jurisdiction refers to the right of the Supreme Court to hear a case for the first time. It has the exclusive right to hear all cases that deal with disputes between states, or between states and the union government. It also has original jurisdiction over cases brought to the court by ordinary people regarding issues to the importance of society at large. Question number 17. The members of Lok Sabha are Option A. Directly elected by the people. Option B. Indirectly elected. Option C. Nominated. Option D. Partly elected and partly nominated. The correct answer is option A. Directly elected by the people. Lok Sabha is composed of representatives of the people chosen by direct election on the basis of the adult suffrage. The maximum strength of the House envisaged by the Constitution is 552, which is made up by election of up to 530 members to represent the states, up to 20 members to represent the Union territories, and not more than 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community to be nominated by the Honorable President, if, in his/her opinion, that community is not adequately represented in the House. The total elective membership is distributed among the states in such a way that the ratio between the number of seats allotted to each state and the population of the state is, so far as practicable, the same for all states. Question number 18. The Parliament can legislate on a subject in the state list. Option A. If the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 majority declaring the subject in state list of national importance. Option B. If the legislatures of 2 or more states recommend to the Parliament to legislate on such a subject with regard to those states. Option C. For the implementation of treaties and agreements with foreign powers. Option D. All the above. The correct answer is option D. All the above. According to Art. 249 of the Constitution, if the Rajya Sabha passes any of the subjects of the state list with 2/3 majority of the present and eligible voters of the House, declaring the subjects to have national importance, on that subject Parliament acquires the power to legislate, i.e. to make laws. Question number 19. The Parliament can legislate on the subject in the state list. Option A. If the President issues an order authorizing it to do so. Option B. If the Supreme Court of India gives authority to the Parliament of India in this regard. Option C. If the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 of its to legislate on a state matter in the national interest. Option D. None of the above. The correct answer is option C. If the Rajya Sabha passes a resolution by 2/3 of its to legislate on a state matter in the national interest. According to Art. 249 of the Constitution, if the Rajya Sabha passes any of the subjects of the state list with 2/3 majority of the present and eligible voters of the House, declaring the subjects to have national importance, on that subject Parliament acquires the power to legislate, i.e. to make laws. Question number 20. The members of the committees of Parliament are, option A. Nominated by the leaders of the various parties in the Parliament. Option B. Nominated by the Prime Minister. Option C. Appointed by the Speaker or elected by the House from amongst persons who are not members of Parliament. Option D. Appointed by the Speaker or elected by the House from amongst its own members. The correct answer is option D. Appointed by the Speaker or elected by the House from amongst its own members. A standing committee is a committee consisting of members of Parliament. It is a permanent and regular committee which is constituted from time to time according to the provisions of an Act of Parliament or rules of procedure and conduct of business. Thank you for watching the video. If you'd like practice this quiz, then download the Wonderslate app now. Link in the description below. If you have any suggestion for us, feel free to leave comments. If you liked the video and want to see more of it, hit the thumbs up and don't forget to click on subscribe button to get more updates of the future videos.